They say some stories stay harmless as long as you never speak them, but become something entirely different the moment they hear your voice. People in Japan whisper about one poem in particular, a poem older than a century, a poem no one reads aloud anymore, because those who did either lost their minds or vanished without explanation. They call it Tomino's Hell, and if you listen long enough to what happened to the girl who treated it like a game, you might think twice before letting your own voice touch its words. The poem began as nothing more than a strange piece of writing by a Japanese poet named Sayo Yasu. He never explained where it came from, never revealed what inspired it, and never answered the quiet rumors that he wrote it during a period of grief so heavy it destroyed him from the inside. His friends said the poem felt like a wound he could not close, a grief that spilled into each line, a grief that should never have been spoken aloud. For decades, Tomino's Hell stayed buried in archived books and libraries no one visited. It was simply too strange, too unsettling, too heavy to attract attention. That silence lasted until the 1970s, when a radio host decided to read the poem live on air. He wanted to entertain his listeners, maybe shock them, maybe spark curiosity. But according to the reports that followed, everything went wrong as soon as he finished the last line. He complained of migraines that blinded him. He said he felt someone standing behind him each night, just out of sight. He said the air in his home changed, turning thick and cold even when the heaters were running. Weeks later, he was found dead, and the cause was never publicly explained. After that, Japanese broadcasters quietly banned the poem from ever being read out loud again. They did not issue warnings. They did not publish statements. They simply stopped reading it, and that silence was enough for everyone to understand. For a while, the legend faded, but the internet resurrected it. People posted scans of the poem, translated it, dared each other to read it, and treated the entire thing like a haunted challenge. Some claimed to hear whispers as soon as they finished the final line. Some said their rooms grew darker, even with the lights on. Some experienced sudden nosebleeds. And some swore they saw shadows move without anything casting them. But most of those stories stayed online, floating around like digital campfire tales, until one girl made the mistake of believing none of it was real. Her name was Aiko. She was a literature student fascinated by forbidden books, banned stories, and everything the world tried to hide. She loved crossing lines, loved challenging warnings, loved proving that fear was nothing more than a trick of the imagination. When she found a digital copy of Tomino's Hell, she didn't hesitate. She wanted to read it, not silently, not cautiously, but out loud, as clearly as she could. She even pressed record on her phone to capture everything, saying that she wanted proof that curses were nothing but superstition. She sat alone in her apartment as the sun went down, opened the file, and began reading. Her voice echoed slightly in the small room. The moment she finished the last sentence, her lamp flickered hard enough to buzz. She said the air felt heavier, as if someone else had stepped inside the room. She felt a pressure in her chest, not pain, but weight, like she had been noticed. That night she dreamed of a boy walking down a staircase that never ended. He did not look at her. He did not speak. He simply descended step after step, as if pulled downward by something she could not see. Beneath his feet she heard a distant whispering, too soft to understand, but too close to ignore. She woke thinking her mind was playing tricks on her. But the dream returned the next night, and the next, and the next. Each time the boy was slightly closer. His shoulders shook as if he were crying, and she began to fear the moment he might finally turn around. Soon the dreams leaked into her waking life. She told her friends she heard footsteps behind her, even in empty hallways. She said her own shadow sometimes looked wrong in the corner of her eye. She said she felt watched inside her room, even when she was sure she had locked the door. One morning she woke gasping for air with a nosebleed running down her face. Her phone, which she had left on her desk before sleeping, was lying on the floor. The screen was glowing. The recording app was open, running, as if someone had pressed it while she slept. The next day, she deleted the video of herself reading the poem. But deleting the file changed nothing. The footsteps continued. The dreams deepened. The shadows leaned closer. She searched online for answers, and what she found terrified her. People claim that once Tomino hears your voice, he does not forget it. The poem is not about reading him. It is about hearing you. And once he hears you, he pulls you downward with him into the same endless descent he walks every night. Aiko tried to break the curse. She burned the printed poem. She slept with the lights on. She stayed at her friend's apartment, but nothing helped. The final night anyone saw her, she told her roommate she was afraid to fall asleep because the boy in her dream had finally turned his head. She did not describe his face. She only said one thing: "He knows my name now." The next morning, her room was empty. Her phone was on her bed. The recording app had been running for 7 hours. No one ever found her. On the recording, experts heard a faint voice whispering in Japanese. Some said it sounded like a child repeating the same sentence. Others said they heard crying. A few claimed they heard Aiko's voice blending with something deeper, something that did not sound human at all. The clearest part was at the very end. A breath, a single breath, too close to the microphone, too close to belong to someone alive. People still argue about Tomino's hell. Some say it is superstition. Some say it is psychology. Some say it is just a poem. But others believe something waits inside the words, something that listens, something that answers when called. If you ever find the poem, you can read it silently. You can study it. You can ignore it. But whatever you do, never read it with your voice. Not even once. Not even as a joke. Because once he hears you, they say Tomino follows you down every step of the staircase, and he never climbs back up. If you have ever felt something listening when no one else is there, stay. You're not alone. You are among your own.